What's going on, family? I'm Robert.
And I'm Jamila.
Welcome to Morning Coffee with TheBallatts.
Morning coffee. I got something to say.
And I got something to say.
You got something to say.
Oh, my bad.
We all got something to say. So have your morning coffee with TheBallatts today. Hey. Good, babe. Keep going. I got something to say. You got something to say. We all got something to say.
So have your morning
coffee with TheBallatts today.
Today we will be talking about parental abuse. Ooh. These kids kicking our asses.
Not literally.
Not literally.
Not literally.
Listen, this topic is a little super sensitive. So to all the mothers going through right now, because your kids...
We see you.
We see you. We see you. And we've been there before. Do me a favor. Go ahead and grab your coffee. Go grab your tea, bagels, whatever you're going to have, and come and join the Ballatts, and let's jump into this conversation today. This topic is a little crazy because we live in a generation now where I feel like
America does not support good parents who are just disciplining their kids so that they grow up and become well-behaved and responsible adults. It's like the tables have turned, and if you're a good parent, somebody is going to feel like they need to step in and do something to you.
Yeah, you're being penalized.
For being a good parent.
You know what, too? And I'm not talking about, listen, I'm talking about...
Because we like child abuse phobic now. Everybody's not crazy and abusing their kids. There are times when real parents have to be firm with their kids. They have to put their foot down. It's not child abuse.
Yeah, it's not child abuse.
People lack common sense, honey.
Recently, we had an associate that disciplined a daughter. The daughter got mad, called DIFUS.
Wait, well, let's just say what happened a little bit.
Go ahead.
So she was a teenager, 13 years old. Her mother, who I believe is a responsible parent from what I know, from what she shared with me, she says a lot of things that we say about her methods as far as upbringing. Yeah. And so the child was not getting her chores done at a decent hour every night. She was waiting until the absolute last minute. She was waiting until bedtime and then disturbing the entire household. The mother would have to get up early in the morning. So she wanted everything shut down at a reasonable hour.
Right. Which
the child
should.
Instead decided to go against her mother's rules and to start doing her chores and to start even doing other things like baking in the kitchen when she was supposed to be in bed. So the mother decided, okay, well, since you're not managing your time well, what I will do is take your cell phone from you at a certain hour, which gives you adequate time to do what you need to do, to do your chores. The child refused to give her her cell phone. I don't even want to say what comes next because...
I mean, no.
She refused. Well, that's number one. She refused. You don't refuse when your mother tells you, hand something over.
I'm a little old school. I'm going to talk about that later, but go ahead. Finish.
She refused. That was number one. And then, from my understanding, she swung. Well, that's,
Yeah. The child swung on
the mother.
Yeah, and a couple of months ago, I saw on, I believe it was Instagram, again, the caption read, "Son body slams the mother." Of course, it's Instagram, so we don't know if it's truth or not, or it's just a crazy caption. But what I did see was a young teenage boy literally arguing with this older lady, grabbing her and body slamming her on the ground. And so...
Which is disgusting.
Right, so this is a real topic. There are parents and grandparents who are now afraid of the kids they gave birth to.
That is a new reality in the day and age that we're living in. Yeah, there's parents. There are teachers. Yeah. There are older adults, neighbors who are afraid to say something to kids who are out of control. Security guards, principals who are afraid because they're so disrespectful.
They're so disrespectful.
And they're disrespectful to the point of being violent.
Right. So today, if you're that parent, mother or father, I'm gonna say mom because I know moms go through. I know you ladies are going through a lot. We've been there before. Nothing hurts more than to give life to a person, and then that life now in turn turns back on you like you're their enemy. And a lot of times it's because they have outside influences like their like
the
parents, the ex, friends, social media, etc.
The ex, and let me just specify when I say ex, being that the parents have split.
Split.
So
Correct,
now, of
correct.
course, one is the mother, one is the father, but you have a disgruntled ex who is, poisoning the child's mind.
Because we've been there, right.
Which is emotional and mental abuse. But
right.
let me just say the story that we mentioned, and I'm purposely not naming her name because there's a reason why we're sharing the story.
Absolutely.
It's not, we don't need to name anybody's names.
The
and
scenario
we never would. Right. The lesson is important.
Right.
But so the child went to school the next day. Next thing you know, the mother's being investigated by DYFS. So let me just say this. So even the DYFS, I've spoken with even the DYFS workers. No, that system.
They know.
That system
they know when
is
a child is playing games.
to is used as a weapon.
Against
it's used
the
as a
parents,
weapon for a lot of false, and a lot of false reports
Correct.
are made with the intention of just targeting and hurting somebody who they perceive it. I perceive you as my enemy. I don't like you. I'm mad at you. I'm calling DYFS on you, and I can just call DYFS and lie and just make something up.
Turning your house upside down, letting strangers into your private home that you worked so hard for. Listen, that's abuse. That's a form of abuse. That's mental, emotional abuse. And there's hundreds and thousands of parents going through these court cases and cases because a child got upset. So this whole episode is...
A child got upset or a parent.
Or a parent got upset.
A parent decided...
We see you.
I know how to get her. I'm going to get her.
Yeah, I'm going to pay her
I'm going to call DYFS.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to pay her back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And DYFS has to follow up on every call.
The moment DYFS is called, they have to come and turn your life upside down.
There's no words because we have been through this.
We've been through it.
Because we have been through this, I know what it's like.
Absolutely.
And there's no words to describe how upsetting it is, especially when you've been a good parent. And you have worked your behind off and you have been 150,000% committed to your children even more than you have been to yourself or to anybody, and that they are the most important thing in the world to you. And then you have some jackass who just decides they want you to feel something. But God is good.
All the time.
So, yeah. I know what it's like. I know exactly
we know what it's like. Exactly. We know what it's like.
And our case was closed because they found nothing. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
They found absolutely nothing. They went and questioned each of the kids individually without our knowledge, without notifying us, with no type of clue that this was even coming. We didn't know until after the fact. And each of my kids, one or two of the kids refused to speak to them. Refused.
Yeah.
Because they just showed up at the school and pulled them aside. And then they came to our house. They went looking through the house. They checked our refrigerator.
See if we had food.
They had no choice but to close the case because they found nothing. The worker said to me, I'm sorry, honey bun. The worker said to me, I don't see anything here. I see a stubborn child.
That's it.
A stubborn child who was being manipulated by an adult.
By another adult.
By a and I'll say quote unquote an adult because what type of real adult would do something like that?
Yeah. Well, I gotta feel something. I mean, when this all happened, the child was just upset. She was just upset because she didn't get her way. But
she told us later on.
Yeah, she told us. Yeah. But
when Robert came along,
it's funny, right? Well, so the whole thing is, it was some jealousy thing because
it was just jealousy.
It was jealousy, but wait, the funny part I want to say is, so when the Child, when she claimed this happened, it was on a Saturday. Sunday, we all went roller skating, and I was filming the whole thing. Like, I was filming, we roller skating because Jamila...
It was a birthday party. One of my kids had one of my kids' birthdays, so yeah.
And so then Monday,
she went to school.
And called the other adult, and the adult said, do this, and that. And so we get all these phone calls, and so I remember sitting talking, so I opened my phone.
And she was taken to the hospital.
She was taken to the hospital, right. So the hospital police came, and for those of you who have been through this, you understand. I showed everybody the phone and her skating perfectly fine. And it was like, okay. And so, how many parents...
Not to mention, everybody knows she's the most smilingest child
in the world.
On the planet.
Yeah. So But
that's behind us. I adore my baby.
Oh, absolutely. But so many of you are still going through this very same thing. And we just want you not to give up. That's what this is about.
Listen. Whatever happened between you and the person that created this child, to take a child's mind
and flip
and
it,
manipulate it to the point where you are turning them against their
sole provider.
Forget providing. They need that. A child needs his or her mother, and they need to have love and a relationship between both of their parents.
Right.
Okay. So to manipulate a child's mind and intentionally pit them against his and her or her own mother is emotional and mental abuse.
It's abuse.
You are essentially saying, I don't care how much I damage this child as long as I get
back
her.
Yeah.
As long as I get the mother, as long as I get back at her.
Yeah. I want to pay her
and
back.
So that's why, honestly, there have been times where I have given my kids passes because I know that they came up from a young age in turmoil and confusion that they were not responsible for, quite honestly. I would have done better if I would have known to do better at the time, by the way. So it wasn't intentional either.
It's look.
It's real life.
Yeah, it's a very serious thing. There are no rules to raising kids. One of the things I know that we try to do that I'm big on. I mean, and our teenagers hated it when they were at home with us, and my teenagers hated it. We didn't let them on social media. So back in the we never let them on social media. Not saying they weren't on social media.
We didn't condone it.
We didn't condone
we did
it
not
in the
allow
home.
it. Yeah.
There was no cell phones until you got your grades up. Well, first of all, until you hit 16, we weren't buying no phones. And that's always been my rule since I could remember. That's us. Not that I think I can control everything, but I'm gonna do my best to control as much.
Well, we did allow with one because she had her own fashion, like clothing business. Remember?
Well, she had an iPad, right? She had an iPad.
Well, but it was because of her clothing.
Right. It was because of the business, right?
She's a little entrepreneur.
And when she
we allowed her to have an Instagram account.
Right.
Until I found.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna say.
Something that I just didn't like.
Right. And then it got shut down.
Then so you lose privileges.
Exactly. And so we just try our best to minimize some of the. I'm sorry. I know, but it's driving me nuts.
They're not gonna know unless you smack it.
So we just try our best to minimize the influences. Of course, when it comes to another parent, you can't do it.
It's called setting boundaries. If you're a parent and you're not setting boundaries,
listen, and don't bend.
wrong.
Bend your standards no matter what. Listen, back in the day, let me tell you a real quick story. Back in the day, my oldest daughter, she had to be 15, 16 at the time. You know that time when they start feeling themselves.
It's before that.
Yeah. So
they start sprouting little boobs.
I happened to be home this night, and she said, "Dad, can I go out with my friends? We're gonna go to New York with her parents. It's their anniversary." I said, "Okay." I knew the parents. No problem. So I'm sitting on the couch. It was something inside of me that wasn't settled. Never, ever underestimate your
intuition.
Your intuition. Never. I got up from my chair. I looked out the window, and there was this little rinky-dink car. And I'm like, a parent, I knew they were in their 40s. They got a little hoopty.
It was like a kid's first car.
It was like a kid's first car. Exactly. So I called my daughter. I said, "Can you come back around the corner, please?" And she said, Why, Dad?
First of all, you'll ask why.
Thank you. I
You
said,
just do what you're
I said,
told.
can you come back around the corner? She said, why? I said, get the back around the corner now. Again, I'm extreme. And so I went on the porch, and I saw this little car not pass in front of me, but pass one of the side streets twice. So I jumped in my car, and I waited. I chased this little car for 2 blocks. I mean, we going 50. Again, I'm extreme. I pulled a Starsky and Hutch move. I cut the car off, and then I jumped out of the car, and I see these 2 young boys with red bandanas on their head. They locked the front door, and they opened her door. I grabbed her out of that car. I digress.
It's over, honey.
It's over.
It's over. That was a long time ago. That was before we got together.
Oh, yeah. This was years ago. I'm like, but these kids, listen, so I understand the mental, because they don't understand, listen.
And now you got kids hooking up with people just based on a social media account.
Yeah,
They're just,
thank you.
Let's meet up at such
days.
and such, and then next thing you know, these kids just leave the house. They sneak, they lie, they do whatever they have to do to go meet up with somebody who they're just trusting that this person is a kid, and a lot of times nowadays, sadly, it's not. Right. So yeah, it's our job to say no and to put our foot down, to watch what they're doing, to enforce rules. And if you're a parent and you're not doing that, you're kidding yourself. You're not a parent. You're not a parent.
Listen, they're gonna be upset. They're gonna be upset with you no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's unfair, but listen, there is no easy answer to this. But the thing is, we understand and we see, and so now, my wife and I, we're on the other side of the fence because we done passed all that, and it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better. But when you're going through it, it's hell.
Yeah. I think it's very important. See, the thing is, it's not all hell, though. That's the thing. It's like the thing that makes it hard is that parenting is a roller coaster.
I agree.
You have good times with your family. You adore your kids.
Oh my God, they're so
you
cute.
love them with all your heart. You want to not punish them sometimes because you love them.
And then you want to
but you know you have to do
Yeah.
the things that are difficult. You have got to be firm. You have to have backbone. And if you don't, they suffer because you're raising grown people who are mentally or developmentally, not mentally, let me say that, developmentally immature and crippled. They're not prepared for life. They're not.
And if your situation is to the point where it's physical abuse, now you have to get the law involved.
Yeah, and we have kids that are hitting their parents.
Listen.
Yeah, fighting their parents.
I know it's your child, but if it's physical, you have to get the law involved. Like this, that's it. I mean,
it's sad. It
is
sad,
very sad.
But
because you love your kids.
You love your kids, but you have to be able to identify when you are in a toxic relationship.
That's good. Okay? Because sometimes we don't think we're in a toxic relationship with our kids.
Because it's my child.
Exactly.
Here's what I realized, and this is what I understand now. I left a toxic, quote unquote, marriage. And one of the reasons why my life is so different now and just abundant and blessed.
Why is your life different?
Aside from my husband.
Wait, hold on.
It's because I learned some things.
Oh, I thought you. My bad.
Hold on, Barry.
I thought you was talking about me, baby. You know what I'm saying?
You too, honey. But that's not what we're talking about today.
Okay, my bad.
I learned some things. One of the things I've learned is I've learned what makes a relationship dysfunctional, what makes a relationship toxic, and what makes a relationship abusive. And I think a lot of times we look at things, first of all, in a parent-child relationship, we look at everything, kind of our perspective is off, and we look at everything one-sided. Like, oh, love on the child, and give to the child, and give them affection, and give them love, and give them everything that they need, and give them what they want too, and there's no regard for us. There's no regard for us. That's number one. The other thing is that if you are in a toxic relationship and it's an intimate sexual relationship, two grown people, you're married or not married, maybe you're just partners, or you just had a child together, or all of the above. We're taught get away from it if it's toxic and it's damaging you, right?
We don't do that with our kids.
But then when you have other people in your lives who are toxic, for some reason, we think that that's somehow different and we should tolerate it and it's okay. So what I came away from when I left that marriage was I started to learn to have a sense of I matter. I have value. You know, I'm important. I need to take care of myself.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm somebody too. You're raising your kids to believe you're some.
Love yourself first. If it's physical, get help. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to continue to do it. But the issue of a parent being abused can be a taboo topic, but it's a real topic in America today.
And usually parents just suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Because even if you go to other parents, you can't
say
everybody's gonna other parents are judgmental.
Ooh, babe, I love what you just said. Don't suffer in silence. Yes. You're suffering in silence because nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody's going to believe you. And everybody's kids are so perfect and so lovely.
Yeah, and everybody's trying to keep up that facade of my kids are just so great.
Yeah, don't suffer.
They're just so amazing.
Don't suffer.
Parents, talk to each other because you really are, there's really strength and power in just being transparent with each other so that you know I'm not alone. It makes a difference.
Listen, and if you can't tell anybody, send her email. Here's the email address right here. Listen, she ain't going to call you. We ain't need your number. All I'm saying is if you need to vent and say.
And it will be confidential.
It's confidential. I'm going through this. I can't tell nobody around me. Boom. Brothers,
I understand.
If it's you, hit me up. The email's right here. Thank you guys for tuning in to Morning Coffee. Another morning. We love you guys. Follow me on Instagram at I am Robert Ballett.
And follow me on Instagram at I am Jamila Ballett.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Facebook under the Power Couple Movement. If you're having a relationship event, hit us up. If you want to do a live morning coffee at your business, your church, your organization, hit us up. We would love to. Please share this video. As always, don't just live.
Dominate. What?
We love you guys. Peace. I got something to say.
Hey. You got something to say. Hey. We all got something to say. So have your morning coffee with the Ballatts today. I got something to say. Hey. You got something to say. We all got something to say. So have your morning coffee with the Ballatts today. The Ballatts.